In a cramped apartment in the heart of Accra, Ghana, a young man named Kwame Adu is fighting to build a life that few around him understand. While his grandmother watches with worry, he spends every day glued to his phone, scrolling through cryptocurrency forums and tracking charts, convinced he's one trade away from changing their fortunes. She shakes her head, urging him to find a real job, something steady, something respectable. But Kwame has other plans. To him, crypto isn't just a trend, it's a chance to break free from the cycle of struggle. The question is, will his gamble on the future lead to the success he dreams of, or to lessons he never saw coming? Kwame's life wasn't always so lonely. Just a year ago, he was dating Afia, a beautiful, ambitious woman who he thought was his soulmate. But Afia grew tired of Kwame's constant struggle and his lack of money. She wanted someone who could spoil her, someone who had already made it. Eventually, she left him for a wealthier man who owned a chain of electronic stores, telling Kwame, "I need a man who can take care of me, not one chasing empty dreams." Her departure broke Kwame's heart and deepened his resolve to prove himself. If he ever saw her again, he vowed it would be as a successful man, not a struggling dreamer. One sweltering afternoon, while wandering the bustling local market, looking for a cheap phone charger he could resell, Kwame notices an elderly woman with a table of strange items tucked away in a corner stall. She's selling handcrafted talismans, ancient-looking charms, and in the center, a dusty calabash covered in intricate carvings of cowries and symbols he didn't recognize. The old woman has an almost otherworldly presence, her eyes gleaming with a mysterious energy. She seems out of place among the usual market vendors. Kwame's eyes are drawn to the calabash. It somehow reminds him of the graphs he's been studying, the lines and symbols looking oddly similar to crypto patterns. Amused, he asks her how much it costs. The old woman gives him a strange smile and says, "It's not just for decoration, boy. This calabash can bring you wealth, but only if you respect it." Kwame laughs, thinking she's trying to pull a fast one to make a sale, but he decides to buy it anyway. As he hands over a few coins, the woman mutters something cryptic about unlocking the spirit of true wealth. Kwame doesn't pay it much attention and heads home, thinking it might make a cool decoration on his desk for good luck. That night, as Kwame curiously examines the calabash, he decides to open it, just to see if there's anything hidden inside. As soon as he lifts the lid, a gust of wind rushes through his room, and a shimmering figure emerges. It's Oba, an ancient spirit of wealth, adorned in flowing traditional garb that sparkles like sunlight on water. Her face is stern, regal, and a bit bewildered as she surveys Kwame's cluttered room. "Hey, I appreciate your sticking with me through this amazing story. If you're enjoying it, a quick like will really help others find and enjoy it too. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so don't forget to comment. And if this story touched you, share it with someone special. They deserve to hear it too." Now let's jump back into the tale. It's Oba, an ancient spirit of wealth, adorned in flowing traditional garb that sparkles like sunlight on water. Her face is stern, regal, and a bit bewildered as she surveys Kwame's cluttered room. Kwame, thinking he must be dreaming, stares in shock as Oba begins to speak. She introduces herself as the spirit of wealth, once worshipped in West African villages, where she brought prosperity to those who honored her. But she is disappointed by what she sees. "Where is your treasure?" she asks, expecting to see piles of gold or cowries. Embarrassed, Kwame holds up his smartphone, calling it his most valuable possession. Oba scoffs, thinking it's a child's toy or some kind of enchanted mirror. Kwame tries to explain cryptocurrency to her, talking about digital coins and online wealth. Oba is baffled, but curious. She reluctantly agrees to partner with him, intrigued by this strange new concept of wealth that isn't tangible. Kwame convinces her to try channeling her powers to help him mine cryptocurrency. If she could summon gold in the old days, maybe she could create digital wealth too. It's an uneasy partnership, as Oba struggles to understand this modern world. But Kwame's determination impresses her. Before long, Kwame's fortunes start to change. With Oba's help, his crypto investments finally take off. His balance starts growing, and his confidence along with it. He begins to upgrade his lifestyle bit by bit, buying new clothes, a sleek laptop, and even treating his grandmother to gifts, which softens her stance on his internet business. Word spreads quickly, and soon enough, it reaches Afia. When Afia hears through mutual friends that Kwame has started making serious money in crypto, her curiosity gets the better of her. She starts following him on social media again, leaving subtle likes and comments on his posts, trying to get his attention. One day, Afia shows up unannounced at Kwame's favorite coffee shop, pretending it's a coincidence. She tells him she just wanted to check on him and is so proud of how far he's come. Kwame, still nursing a broken heart but feeling validated by her sudden interest, is flattered. She apologizes for how things ended between them, explaining that she had been confused and under a lot of pressure back then. Kwame, against his better judgment, starts seeing her again. They go on fancy dates, and he finds himself paying for everything, eager to impress her. But Oba watches this reunion with disapproval. "Beware of those who only come when the harvest is ripe," she warns him, but Kwame brushes her off, thinking the spirit is just out of touch. With Oba's continued help, Kwame's wealth grows, and he starts making a name for himself in the crypto world. But his luck attracts more than just Afia's attention. Oba's ancient rivals, Nyoka, the spirit of greed, and Sika, the spirit of corruption, sense her presence in the modern world. Nyoka and Sika were once powerful forces that thrived on people's hunger for quick wealth and their willingness to betray their values for material gain. Sensing weakness in Kwame's desire for Afia's approval and his growing obsession with wealth, Nyoka and Sika start to meddle. They hack into Kwame's crypto accounts, causing his assets to fluctuate wildly. Kwame begins to lose large amounts of money without explanation. Panicked, he accuses Oba of failing him, yelling that her powers are useless. Afia, noticing the sudden downturn in his finances, grows distant. She starts canceling dates, making excuses, and dropping hints that maybe she needs a man who can provide stability. Kwame feels his world crumbling, his money, his pride, and now Afia slipping through his fingers again. Desperate, he confronts Oba, demanding that she do something to fix this mess. Oba, hurt by Kwame's ingratitude, finally speaks harshly to him. "You chase wealth to win a heart that only loves gold, not the man holding it. Is that true wealth?" she asks. She warns him that if he lets greed and desperation guide him, he'll fall into Nyoka and Sika's trap, just as many before him did. Heartbroken and humiliated, Kwame realizes Oba is right. He confronts Afia and asks her directly, "If I lost everything tomorrow, would you stay?" She hesitates, then avoids his gaze, mumbling excuses. It's the only answer Kwame needs. He breaks things off with her, vowing to build a life of substance, rather than one based on flashy displays of wealth. With a humbled heart, Kwame returns to Oba and apologizes for his arrogance and greed. Moved by his sincerity, Oba decides to give him one last gift. She locks his remaining wealth in a special spirit vault, explaining that he can only access small amounts at a time, enough to support himself and invest in projects that benefit the community. Anytime he tries to use the money selfishly, it will disappear. Embracing this new path, Kwame uses his limited funds to open a community tech center. He teaches young people in his neighborhood about technology, digital finance, and the dangers of greed. His center becomes a hub of learning, giving others the opportunities he wished he'd had when he started. Oba, satisfied that Kwame has learned the true meaning of wealth, fades back into the calabash, leaving him with one final message. True wealth is what you give, not what you hold. Kwame's story becomes a local legend, a modern folktale warning against chasing empty wealth and mistaking material gain for true love. And as the tech center thrives, people come from far and wide to see the old, dusty calabash displayed at the entrance, a reminder that sometimes the spirit of wealth is more than just money. It's wisdom, restraint, and the strength to walk away from those who only love you when you're rich. Moral of the story: in life, true wealth isn't measured by how much money you can show off or how many people admire you when you're on top. It's about the values you hold, the people who stand by you when times are hard, and the impact you make on those around you. Kwame's journey teaches us that chasing after quick riches or trying to impress people who only value what you have, not who you are, can lead to disappointment and even disaster. People who love you only when you're doing well aren't the ones who will help you build a strong, fulfilling life. And trying to win them back with wealth, that's just building on a shaky foundation. The story also reminds us of the power of gratitude, humility, and generosity. Kwame learned the hard way that true wealth isn't in flashy spending or showing off. It's in using what you have to lift up your community and create opportunities for others. When you focus on these things, you build a kind of wealth that even spirits of greed and corruption can't take away. So, if you ever find yourself chasing after something or someone that makes you feel you're not enough without money, remember Kwame's lesson. In the end, real riches come from using what you have wisely, staying grounded in who you are, and surrounding yourself with people who value you for more than your wallet. In short, don't chase people who only value you for what you have. They'll leave when the money runs out. True wealth isn't in your wallet. It's in your character and your relationships. It's what you pass on to others and the good you do in your community. Use your success to make a difference, not just to show off. Real wealth grows when it's shared, not hoarded. Thank you for watching. I am Madhu Black, and this is Africa Folktales and Legends. If you have made it this far with us, ensure to subscribe, like, comment, and share the story on your social media platforms. And do turn on notifications so you'll know right away when I drop more amazing stories. I really appreciate all your support. Quite overwhelming. It means a lot to me. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.